All right, so you're Kevin Garza,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garza, and Mr. Vital, and Mr. Locklear. All of you guys are charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you.
Garza and Locklear were stopped by the same officer, so I'm gonna do them first and then move to.
Sure,
Vital.
okay.
On July 14th, 2024, undercover officers observed a white Audi and a white Chevrolet Camaro engage in a rolling dragging race by slowing down at approximately 8750 West Park Tollway in Harris County to 30 miles per hour in a 65 zone and accelerate to approximately 140 miles per hour in a.
140. Which one did 140?
This one was Locklear and Garza in the rolling drag race. A marked patrol vehicle conducted a traffic stop on the vehicles, and defendant Carson Locklear was the driver of the Chevy Camaro, and defendant Kevin Garza was the driver of the Fleischer. Both defendants stated that they got pulled over and admitted to racing each other on West Park Tollway. And then moving to Vital. On July 14th, deputies conducted a traffic stop on a red 2011 BMW M3 for racing on the highway. Prior to the traffic stop, undercover deputies observed 3 suspect vehicles, the red 2011 BMW M3 and the white Chevy Camaro SS and the Audi RS5 traveling side by side eastbound on West Park Tollway, maintaining a speed of 60 miles per hour while side by side, and then kept their vehicles aligned to begin the drag race. All 3 vehicles then simultaneously accelerated to speeds well over 120 miles per hour in the drag race competition to outdistance and outgain each other. The posted speed limit was 65, and deputies conducted a traffic stop on the red BMW M3, and the driver was Rafael Vital, the defendant.
$140 miles an hour. I am done with all of you. And I'm now taking away each of your privileges to drive. And if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You will be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every single time that you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care where you're going. I don't care if you're hauling baby cats to a damn funeral. What your excuse is. If I find that you drive for any reason, each of you will be doing a substantial amount of time in jail. Each time you drive, it's an offense in and of itself, punishable by 6 months in jail, and I can stack it. Do you understand? Mr. Vital, this is your second racing case. I swear to you on everything that's holy, if you get in a car behind the wheel for any reason, there will be HE double hockey sticks to pay. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to smoke weed, consume alcohol, and I'm sending you now for a drug test. Do you understand? Tracy, he goes down now. Both of you now, you other two, if I find that you drive for any reason, I will lose my shice. And I'm telling you now, our jails are crowded, but they're not so crowded to have you. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The legislature's made it very easy for district attorneys across the state of Texas to take cars from individuals who continue to do this. I'm surprised, Pavel, did they seize your car, Mr. Vital? I'm very surprised that they haven't done that. And I will be equally surprised if they don't. But get ready. Each of you will come up here, sign this promise to me that you're not going to drive. Heed my warning. You will not get another one. Do you understand? We're going to reset your cases to give you time to work these cases out with your lawyer. Martin, I saw that you were working over there, but at that speed, I don't care where they're going. I don't care what they need to do in life. My only concern is the protection of the highways in Houston. And I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person. If you want to race, there are places designated in Houston for you to do it. On the Sam Houston Tollway, on 610, on 59. That's not the proper place. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, come on. You're Dwayne Leon Leroy.
Yes, sir.
To Leroy, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with reckless driving. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. On your other case, you're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
November 3rd, 2024, officers observed defendant's motor vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, 105 miles per hour, making unsafe lane changes, cutting off several other vehicles, and driving through narrow 2-lane construction zones and on the Sam Houston Tollway. The officer was able to catch up with the defendant and initiate a traffic stop. Officer made contact with the driver and observed mild odor of alcoholic beverage, red bloodshot eyes, and a slight sway. Officer observed a brown bottle of alcoholic beverage under the passenger seat, open and half empty. SFST is administered, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, 1 leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant denied drinking anything, then claimed to have only consumed 1 beer. DICs were read and breath was refused. Blood search warrant was obtained and executed.
Are you telling me that he's going through a construction zone at 105 miles an hour?
That's what I have here, Judge, per the dams.
Any prior DWIs? Mind checking? Or any kind of other reckless driving?
I don't see anything that has to do with driving on his record.
There's a lot of construction on the toll road. If you're going that fast, probably pass through it,
But
rather
you're
quickly.
supposed to slow down at an extreme slow place when you're
I agree.
extremely slow pace when you're going through a construction zone.
I agree.
Mr. Leroy, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, and I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You're not allowed to drive at all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be signing an affidavit with me, and I hope you take it seriously, because if not, you will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. And I don't care what your excuse is. Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. You come down, we will have a hearing, and you're facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are 2 different affidavits that you're going to be signing. So if I find that you drive, and I don't care what it's for, I will have 2 contempt hearings every time you drive. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Agle, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me and tells me he can't get a hold of you, you pick up a new case. You violate conditions, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll have you go. Gentlemen, both of you are charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Officers observed 5 to 6 cars traveling at a high rate of speed and chasing each other on a freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed 4 cars in each of the 4 lanes, matching each other's speed approximately 50 miles per hour until they were aligned. And then the 2 cars in the middle took off at a high rate of speed at approximately 100 miles per hour. A traffic stop was initiated on defendant Earl's vehicle. During the traffic stop, officer observed that the entirety of the inside of the vehicle was removed except the driver's seat. Defendant Earl admitted to participating in the race. Another officer conducted a traffic stop on the other participating car. That occupant also admitted to participating in a drag race.
You said there were happening to the other two.
Your Honor, I don't. There are no other connected cases, just the two.
Got it. Mr. Earl, this is your second racing case. I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. And if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not drive. I don't care what you're doing in your life. I don't care where you have to go, what you have to do. I now also am sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and then you're to come right back. If I find that you don't take the test, if you don't come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Take a seat.
I do have a question. May I have a reset to hire my attorney? I wasn't able to hire him today.
We will get there.
Okay.
First things first, I'm sending you for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. But first, you'll come up here and swear to us that you're not going to drive. Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm going to tell you now, living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive, it's an awful thing. Do not participate in these types of things again. Otherwise, I will take your privilege to drive away from you. Do you understand? You will be signing conditions with me today, promising me that you're not going to race, street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving, any of the like. If I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? Okay. Can you file conditions on both of their cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Racing and the like? Yeah. All right. I'm going to have you go, did you check for both of the licenses to see if do you have a Texas driver license? Do you have liability insurance in your name? Okay, if you can run both of their licenses as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
So for now, I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
I have a lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
who is it?
David Lee.
Got it. Okay. Mr. Lee's going to be here, so we're going to have you wait till he gets here. So we'll have you sign a reset, take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign the bond conditions.
Okay. Your Honor, Flores is eligible. Let me run. Earl,
Please. Good morning, Mr. Neela. Sir, you are charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
one moment, Your Honor.
Take your time. No rush.
Okay. On January 5th, 2025, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle at the 8400 block of Katy Freeway approach from the rear at 107 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone and passed a patrolled motor vehicle. The officer caught up to the defendant's vehicle and observed the vehicle to be traveling 118 miles per hour in the 60 mile per hour zone, along with cutting multiple vehicles off and almost striking one motor vehicle. A traffic stop was conducted and the officer made contact with the defendant, the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle. The defendant stated he was just going with the flow of traffic.
Mr. Neal, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now ordering you not to drive any vehicle whatsoever. Do you understand? You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. And if you do, you can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? If you would like, I can have you fill out an application or an appointed lawyer, and I can see whether you qualify to have you talk with someone today. Would you like to do that? Okay. Do you mind giving an application? I'll give you an application. I need to know everything about you, how much money you make, how much money you spend, how much money you have in the bank. I'll take a look to see if you qualify. If you do, I'll provide you a lawyer today. Right. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Sir, you were charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On January 5th, 2025, the officer was conducting surveillance as part of a traffic crimes task force of motor vehicles racing westbound on Grand Parkway, and the officer observed the defendant's vehicle traveling in lane 2 and another vehicle in lane 1. The motor vehicle slowed down to approximately 30 miles per hour before launching at the same time in a competitive manner, accelerating to well over 110 to 125 miles per hour in an attempt to outpace each other. The motor vehicles raced 3 times, then pulled into a Buc-ee's. The officer observed the defendant, but was unable to locate the other motor vehicle involved in the race.
So then it says that also he picked up a felony evading he was on bond for a felony evading and now he's picked up this case, erasing?
It looks like that's the case, Your Honor. He was on bond for the evading.
I'm taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive, Mr. Lee. Do you understand? You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what is going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. This is an affidavit that you're going to promise me that you're not going to drive. Do you understand? There's a burning building with 50 kids in it. I don't care. Do not drive. You mind filing those conditions as well, please? No driving.
No driving? Yes, Judge.
Have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Johnson. He will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you pick up another case, I'm going to revoke it. And if I find that you're a danger to the public, I'm going to make it sky high. I will do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. Do you understand? You want the same day as the felony? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to have you sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And then after that, you'll be free to go. Okay. So why are we here on Mr. Jenkins? What happened?
Yes, there was, he was on bond and there's a new offense, so we're here for an arraignment. And then,
So he's on bond for 2 cases. He's now picked up a 3rd case. Is this right?
that's correct, yes.
Mr. Jenkins, you now stand charged with the offense of reckless driving. You are facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Yes, Judge. On January 12, 2025 at 6:26 p.m., the officer observed the defendant's vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed on a feeder road without headlights on. The officer checked the speedometer and it read 80 miles per hour while the defendant's vehicle was traveling faster. This occurred in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. The officer observed the defendant's vehicle make an unsafe lane change, cutting off a motor vehicle and reaching a speed of 106 miles per hour with moderate to heavy traffic. The officer observed another unsafe lane change while attempting to catch up to the defendant's vehicle. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle.
Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Does he have a valid Texas driver?
Yeah, eligible.
I'm now revoking your bond on the other 2 cases. You will go into custody with me because you picked up a 3rd case, sir. Goes with you.
Judge, he also is wanting me off the case. So I didn't know if we wanted to
I
address that.
wanted to have.
I'm not going to talk to you about this case. You have a lawyer.
I
You need
wanted
to talk to the
I wanted
lawyer.
talk about my two cases before that, sir.
I'm not going to talk to you about this. We'll put you in back if you want. I can give you a new lawyer today.
Okay, anybody.
I'll give you a lawyer, another. If you want to get off, and I'll provide you another lawyer. It's the 3rd case. Unacceptable. All right. Well, I called him. He didn't answer. So you all are here. We're going to do probable cause. Each of you are charged with racing on a highway. Who's Carlos Gomez? You're Carlos Gomez. Mr. Gomez, you're charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Mr. Kasim, you are charged with racing on a highway and you are charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the weapon case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. On the racing, up to 6 months. As you, Mr. Rios, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine on the racing case. Gentlemen, we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Okay?
On February 1st, 2025, an officer who was part of a plainclothes traffic crimes task force was near Cross Timbers and East Texas Freeway in Harris County, Texas, where there was known to be a large street takeover group meeting. Officers in plain clothes were conducting a surveillance of the group of cars known to conduct the takeovers. The officer followed members of this group, specifically a gray Camaro, a white Camaro, and another Camaro. Officers witnessed the three vehicles slow down to 50 miles per hour and accelerate simultaneously up to speeds well over 125 miles per hour in order to outpace each other. Plainclothes officers were able to keep these vehicles in sight until marked patrol vehicles arrived and conducted traffic stops. Officers pulled over the vehicles and made an arrest.
So each one of them are in cars lined up?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3.
Okay, so tell me about the gun on Mr. Kasim's case. So Kasim is Kasem. While you're looking at, gentlemen, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm going to tell you now, living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive blows. And I am now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in these types of activities anymore. Racing, street takeovers, donuts, reckless driving. If I find that you do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in jail. The next thing I will do is I will take your ability to drive away from you. Do you understand? Not only that, the Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for DAs across the state of Texas to seize, take cars permanently for people who are continuously participate in these activities. And I'm telling you because I've seen it here where people get their $80,000 to $100,000 car seized and taken, and they don't get it back. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Kasim admitted to having the handgun in his fanny pack to the officer.
So can you file those conditions on all these gentlemen? Or I guess, let's go through each of them. Do they have Texas driver license?
They all have eligible Texas driver's license.
Great. All right. One more thing, gentlemen. You are not allowed to drive unless you have liability insurance in your name. If you do not have car insurance, then you're not allowed to drive. If I find that you drive without car insurance or you violate any of these conditions, I will put you in jail. I will do everything in my power to protect my community. Imagine you hit something at 125 miles an hour. You crush anything. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will have you each take a seat while we craft your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. Because you guys have lawyers, I will waive your appearances. So you don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with counsel and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they cannot get a hold of you because you're ducking and dodging and playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You pick up a new case, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You become a danger to my community, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to have you each go to Victoria, sign a reset, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box.
Gomez?
And then if you can file all those and all of them. Thanks, Brent. Mr. Bird, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with reckless driving and unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the reckless driving, you're facing up to 30 days and or a $500 fine. And on the gun case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On March 1st, 2025, at approximately 1:18 a.m., the officer observed a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, and the officer had to drive in excess of 130 miles per hour.
130?
Yes, Judge. And the vehicle exited from the highway, and the officer paced the vehicle bumper to bumper between 100 and 105 miles per hour. The vehicle was changing lanes and driving around vehicles that were traveling at the posted speed limit of 45 miles per hour. The officer caught up to the vehicle to get a closer read and paced the vehicle again at 92 miles per hour. The vehicle drove through a stale red light without stopping and into the intersection at 51 miles per hour. A traffic stop was conducted, and the defendant stated he was driving that way because he was on his way to his baby mama's house and that she wanted to go to the doctor. The defendant stated that he may have outstanding traffic tickets. The officer asked the defendant if he had any guns in the vehicle, and the defendant stated he did not. The defendant was arrested for reckless driving, and an inventory search of the vehicle was conducted, and the officers located a loaded semi-automatic gun found between the driver's seat and the center console. The defendant stated the firearm belonged to his girlfriend, and the defendant made further references and threats towards the officer.
Mr. Bird, you understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. And if that means putting you in jail and making your bond sky high, I will do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand?
Yes,
You
sir.
are not allowed to drive, and you will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing every single time you drive. It's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand? And finding that there's probable cause to go forward on the reckless driving in addition to the gun case. You're also ordered not to be in possession of any weapons as well. If I find that you have a weapon, you pick up a new case, violate conditions in any way, I will revoke your bond on both cases, put you in jail, no more PR bonds. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? You work these, what do you do with yourself these days?
Yeah, I just lost my job due to this case.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application. Deputy Rand is going to give you an application. I'll have you fill it out. I'll take a look at it. Keep my county safe. Do you understand? Come on. You were Alan Villasana.
Sir?
Mr. Villasana, you were charged with 2 cases. You were charged with theft. You were also charged with racing on a highway. On both of those cases, you were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
The theft or the racing?
Yeah, start on the theft because it's the earlier one, yeah.
On January 1st, 2025, officers were dispatched to a shoplifter call at a Target in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the loss prevention employee, called the officer regarding a theft in progress at the location and observed a Hispanic male wearing a tan hoodie and black shorts making a selection and removed the security tape from a JBL speaker box and placed other products inside a shopping cart. The complainant proceeded to keep the surveillance on the male and observe the defendant proceed to exit past all points of sale without any intent to pay for the items. The officer reviewed the surveillance and observed the complainant make contact with the defendant at the front entrance and attempted to retrieve the stolen items, and the defendant proceeded to leave the Target and enter a black Chevrolet Spark. With the assistance of a license plate reader and TLO, the officer determined the motor vehicle to be driven by the defendant and obtained a Texas driver's license, which the officer believed completely matched the Hispanic male captured on the surveillance footage. The total taken was $499.03.
On the racing, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On March 15th, 2025, the officers observed a black Toyota Camry and a silver Chrysler sedan traveling at a high rate of speed on the main lanes of the Katy Freeway. Officers attempted to catch up to the motor vehicles traveling 120 miles per hour to keep the motor vehicles in sight, but both motor vehicles were still outgaining speed. The posted speed limit was 65 miles per hour. Both the defendant and the silver Chrysler were racing in competition side by side at points, with both motor vehicles accelerating at a high rate of speed, attempting to outdistance and outgain each other. While the defendant and the Chrysler were racing, they were making evasive lane changes and failing to signal lane change, cutting off multiple motor vehicles to get around traffic, causing victims with their motor vehicles to take evasive actions to avoid collisions. The defendant's motor vehicle at one point drove on the right shoulder to pass vehicles in the right lane and was in front of the silver Chrysler. A traffic stop was initiated.
So driving on the shoulder
Yes,
to
on the
get.
shoulder. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the defendant, who was the driver. The defendant admitted that he was racing with the other vehicle and that this was not his first time racing, but his first time arrested, and that he would have ran from the officers if he had more gas in the motor vehicle.
Mr. Villasana, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will revoke the bond on both of your cases and I'm going to put you in jail. I'm also ordering you now not to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. Do you understand?
How long?
While this case is open. And if I find that you do, likewise, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Can you print me out more affidavits, please? You're not to go to any Target whatsoever as well. If I find that you pick up a third case, it's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand? I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. And if that means putting you in jail and making your bonds high, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer?
I didn't have a job right now, so I can't.
Okay. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application. I'll have you fill it out and I'll take a look at it with you. Hey, I'm not done talking to you. I'll have you take a look at I'll have you fill it out. I'll take a look at it. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. I'm going to have you come back because I'm going to have you sign an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. And then you'll get with Fleischer for your bond conditions.
I won't be able to come back. I don't have a ride.
Figure it out. I'll get you a lawyer and we'll start talking. But I don't want any more problems. Do you understand?
No, I haven't been in problems like 5 years. This is the first time I had a case since 5.
Don't. Please.
You want to smoke with them?
Hi, Mr. Stewart. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, that's fine.
You're Robert Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramsey, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail because of the high blow. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 14th, 2025, officers observed a 2007 gray Toyota Solara traveling at 100 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. Officers caught up to the vehicle and conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the defendant, the driver, and observed an open bottle of whiskey in the front passenger area. The defendant admitted to having a few swigs of that whiskey. The officer observed slurred speech, confused demeanor. SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6. Walk-in turn, a 6 out of 8. 6 out of 6 on the HDN, 6 out of 8 on the walk-in turn, and 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The defendant consented to breath, which came back to a 0.199 and a 0.208.
Did you say field sobriety tests were done or no?
Yes, they-
Okay, I missed it. So
I'm
the
sorry.
Zoned out.
SFSTs were a 6 out of 6 on the HDN, a 6 out of 8 on the walk-in turn, and a 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand.
got it. Okay, and you said, are you telling me that he's consuming alcohol while driving? Mr. Ramsey, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now taking away your ability to drive. I am now making that a condition of your bond. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. This is an affidavit that you're going to sign, promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I at least request an interlock device rather than a no driving affidavit? That would
He's going
guarantee-
100 and he's allegedly taking swigs. What? No driving. Do you understand?
May I at least make the argument?
Sure.
Sure. So he does have to drive to get to work. I understand the accusations against him. I also believe that there's some falsehoods in the accusations against him, Your Honor. We don't have any videos, we don't have any evidence yet on the case, other than just the DIMS report here. So, like I said, in reference to the alcohol being, guaranteeing the safety of the community, I would ask that the interlock be installed rather than it being a no driving affidavit. As far as the driving quickly, I'm sure that, he won't drive that quickly anymore, and he will swear that he will not speed or do anything else. We can say if he gets a ticket or something like that for speeding, Your Honor, that then we'd, accede to or agree to the no driving affidavit, Your Honor. But I do think the interlock device would fully guarantee the safety of the public in terms of him not being able to drive and then operate the vehicle.
Ready to be honest?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. I'm taking away your privilege to drive for the moment. I don't care. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you are driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's not absolute. But I want you to understand that this is a privilege. It's not a right. You want a right? Take your happy feet and walk from one place to the other. That's a right. This It's a privilege. And if you look on the news, every single day, someone dies in our county from an intoxication, assault, crash, whatever it may be. No. Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Stewart. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, ducking, dodging phone calls, you pick up a new case, you know what happens.
Yes, sir.
For now, I'm gonna have you come up here, store touch it, you're not gonna drive. I'll get you to Victoria Center reset. You will get with Felicia if your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go.